got Rocky Tim money, but I got it the hard, hard way. I fought in every battle from the start to the VJ day. Now I'll rock, yeah, rock. Oh, baby, rock, rock on down the line. Now some folks seem to be jealous.
Professional wrestling, an over century-year-old art form that started in European carnivals and has gone from smoky bingo halls all the way into giant stadiums. But every story starts locally, and this particular story starts in the heart of California's Central Valley. The average person, when they think professional wrestling, they think the lights, the crowd, the music, and everything they see on TV. But it all has to start somewhere. Today, we here at the Caged Bird are taking you into the 209 Dragon's Den, located in Lodi, California. Your typical downtrodden community in which a group of young men get together 5 days a week to exercise their demons through the art of professional wrestling, combining physical attributes, mental toughness, and a brotherhood that spans decades of wrestling experience. All led under the tutelage of one man, a very complex individual by the name of the BMF, Matt Freeman, a man whose grizzled exterior hides a heart of gold and a willingness to help those who are willing to help themselves.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Freeman.
Come on in. This is where it all goes down. Remember that story, Cribs? That show that used to be called Cribs on MTV?
Sure do.
Turn this to an episode of Cribs.
No, we changed the game. We're not doing Dragon's Den, we're just doing the actual ranch.
Oh, fuck. No, I'm sorry. I'm so busy, bro. I'm just trying to do everything at once. I got these bids I gotta send out. Ugh. But you guys are welcome to ask me away. Like, what are we doing here? Asking some more questions, or
I mean, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We took a minute to sit down with Michael Sean and CJ Dirt earlier. Yeah, you're probably gonna be pissed about how nice a guy they made you out to be.
That's funny that you say that, like.
Rolling.
Sorry, they left.
And then 1, 2 after.
Right hand, 1, 2.
Yeah.
So, boom, 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 boom. Like that.
Taking time out of training for his boxing match on July 18th against the dangerous Jesus Cruz, Matt Freeman teaches a class behind him about the fundamentals of combat sports, wrestling, discipline, and all the rigors that go into being a professional athlete. While Matt Freeman may seem like one of the toughest, most grisly, and hard-fighting individuals, and he is all of those things, he is also the kind of man that takes pride in developing not only great wrestlers, but young men who are good servants to their community and upstanding people in this rough world we face today.
Nice, Leo. Nice. 1, 2. Oh, he almost pinned you. You almost got pinned by a guy who's still a rookie.
My name is Sean. I am a teacher at Delta College for graphic design, and I'm also a marketing coordinator for a nonprofit that helps adults with disabilities gain independence. And I guess my third job is pro wrestling. I chose Dragon's Den at first because it was the closest thing out here. I always thought that pro wrestling was in SoCal, San Francisco, and that it would cost me like $5,000 for a tuition, you know what I mean? But over here, it's like family. It's close, it's intimate. There's nothing like it out here. I've been training for about 5 years. I wrestled for 3, and every school I've been to is not, doesn't compare to this. It's. Can I swear? Am I allowed to swear? It's fucking chaotic in here. They don't give a fuck of what people say. And that's something I always wanted to aspire to be, because when I grew up, I was a people pleaser, you know? And the people here don't give a fuck. And that's what's fucking special about this place. So I aspire for that. I'm still like the nice guy of the group. I'm kind of the PR guy of the group. You know what I mean? I gotta apologize sometimes, but you know. But hey, this place is fucking awesome.
My name is Gerardo. I've been wrestling for about 10 years, all throughout California. And I mean, when I'm not working, wrestling is all I think about. And I came to the 209 specifically because, like, I feel the 209 is this, like, untapped source of wrestling. This used to be a wrestling town, Stockton, Lodi, the whole area. And I feel like we can bring that back, and I want to be a part of that.
Tell us a little bit about your personal life real quick. What do you do for a living?
I'm a grounds worker for a school district nearby. Been doing that about 5 years. It's helps me stay in shape. So working out in the sun. Other than that, I like to go home, hang out with my girl, hang out with my dogs, play some video games, go to the gym.
My name is Hector. People know me as Dazzle because I'm one half of the tag team Razzle and Dazzle.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a principal secretary at an elementary school, so I do a lot of the paperwork and a lot of filing and kind of in between with the districts, principals, teachers, all that stuff. So everybody comes to me for all that stuff.
And what made you decide to choose the 209 Dragons to train out?
Well, 209 Dragon's Den was really the closest place to me. I actually am from Lodi, but still, you know, I was looking at different places, just trying to think, should I go here, should I go there? And just 209 Dragon's Den just fit me personally. It is pretty rough. We're out here, out in the elements. You can get hot during the summer, it can get really cold during the winter, but...
What do you mean it fits you personally?
I'm not so by the book type person. I like to kind of freelance, I guess you can say. I don't know. I like to let it kind of just chill. And 209 Dragon's Den, coaches, the owner, even the people that I train with, they're all super chill. We have like a legit brotherhood. Like I can come to them for anything. And it's just this place, like there's no other way to say it. It just fits my personality, I guess, my style.
My name is Liam. I am a marketing coordinator, and I chose the 209 Dragon's Den because I've actually seen what comes out of this school. On the other side, as a fan, I have watched some greatness come out of here and talent come through here with Mike Hayashi, Michael Sean, Big MF, CJ Dirt. It's just an all-star lineup. Like just myself going through here for the past year and a half now. Like the grit and determination is almost infectious, where it's like everyone feeds off one another, and it's honestly a brotherhood, if you will. We push each other, you know, we give each other shit, but it's with the best of intentions.
So when you say that, what do you mean?
You know, iron sharpens iron, right? So it's like you're only as good as those that you surround yourself with. So if we're pushing ourselves, the other people around us are going to be pushing themselves. So it's just literally just a feedback loop of energy, if you will.
Taking to the streets of downtown Lodi, we took a moment to sit down with Freeman's two best friends and confidants, Michael Sean and CJ Dirt. Dragon's Den, and the man behind it all, Matt Freeman. Up first, the main event himself, Michael Schwand.
Michael, my name is Michael.
So, and how are you affiliated with 209 Dragons?
I am one of the co-head trainers at the 209 Dragons Den, along with CJ, Dirt, and Mike Hayashi.
And what made you decide that you wanted to work with the Dragons Den?
My best friend is Matt Freeman in the whole world. CJ is one of my best friends in the whole world. And we're at another place, and some stuff happened, and the three of us were like, let's just do it together. Let's just do our own thing together. And we called up Hayashi because I have a really busy work schedule to like be the head trainer, like the time it consumes and stuff. So we called Mike, and Mike's like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do this. So the four of us started the Dragons Den probably 3 or 4 years ago now. And this was my friends, you know what I mean? I've known Mike since I was 15, 16 years old. I've known Freeman for the last 10 years, CJ the last 10 years. And if you see me, CJ, and Matt, we're usually together. So, I mean, it only made sense.
And what do you feel makes the 209 Dragons Den different than all these other wrestling organizations and schools out here?
We're a family. Like, legit, you ask any one of our kids, we're a family. Those are my kids. Like, I would tell them all, you're my kid. To my least favorite to my favorite, I will go to bat for all of them. You know what I mean? I love them all, like my kids. We're doing something special, I feel. And then there's Matt, who's my best friend in the whole world. And, you know, this is going to be hard. But
let it all go, man.
Okay. Matt is probably the greatest person I've ever met in my life. And he doesn't want anybody to know that. He will fight you tooth and nail to this. But Matt will give you the shirt off his back tomorrow if you ask him for it. Because that's who Matt is. The real Matt Freeman is a sweetheart. The real Matt Freeman took these bunch of misfit kids and made them into a family. Like, I didn't care. I don't, like, that's not me. I'm going to be honest. But Matt makes that. Matt makes them be this family because he sees the good in everyone. And I see the bad in everyone. So us together is kind of like, you know what I mean? There's like times where kids can't pay the tuition. And Matt's like, you know what? Pay me in a month. And then that month comes and they can't pay you. All right, pay me next month. You know what I mean? And just as long as you're helping around the school and you like, you know, mop the floors or whatever, you kind of get a buy. And is that right? I don't know. But it's the way Matt is. And those kids have all of this to thank him for. Matt will call you out. Where are you? Why are you not here? What are you doing? Don't piss this away. This, you told me, you know, 6 months ago, this is all you ever wanted to be a wrestler.
He made the statement to us one day that if you don't show up, he's going to call you, just like you said. And he made the statement to us one day that if you don't answer the phone, he's going to go knock on your door and slap you.
Pretty much, yeah.
So,
yeah. It's the truth. I've seen it. Like, we had this kid, they'll screw it up. And Matt said, where are you? He's like, well, he's like, I don't care. Get here. And ever since then, the kid is now dazzling and razzling all of Northern California.
So it's just this thing about Freeman where he believes.
He believes in everyone. I don't know why, but he does. He believes in everyone. Up until you prove him wrong. Up until you piss on him to where he's done believing in you. But it takes a lot for that to happen, to be honest with you. A lot. Because there are times where I'm just like, I'm done with this kid. What are you doing? What are you talking about? No, there's something special about him. I'm like, Matt, no, there isn't. You got to let this kid go. And he does it. And they become a wrestler, and they become their true selves, and they become confident, and they become all these things, all because Matt believes in them. Like when he started this, nobody wanted him in here. Let's be honest. Matt was doing things his own way. Matt did it to the beat of his own drum. There was bookings I missed because I'm Matt's best friend. I got cut off of shows. I've been told, no, thank you, because of who my best friend is. It's either you come by yourself and you can get booked, or you bring Matt and we're not sorry, but no thanks. And I always like, well, then no thanks, because that's my best friend. I really don't need your fucking $100. I don't know, just, you know, there was a time I had a rough time last year, legit. With a rough time, I was the construction company that I worked for was barely working, and I was dirt poor. Like, and Matt helped me through it. Like, Matt was like, "Here, I got stuff from my house. I'll pay you this for it. And if you want to do this, I can do this for you." And without Matt, probably last year I would have made it. And like, that's who Matt is. Matt's like, "Mike, I know you're struggling. I know, life sucks right now, but I got you. And I'm not gonna if I eat, you eat." Is basically what he told me. He took care of me and my family, and I can never, ever, ever pay him back for that, ever. Because that's who Matt is, though. He's my best friend in the whole world. When I say that, I mean that. He's my brother. He's more than my best friend. He's my brother. When brothers fight, we had a little tiff, like you were talking about, but like through it all, I was like, we're gonna be fine.
We'll get over it.
Yeah. Because, here's a fucking stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't mean shit. You know what I mean? And we're so close to like, we broke the like, whatever. But yeah, without Matt, I don't know where I'd be in life right now. That's the truth. That's the gospel truth.
Matt Freeman is probably the nicest guy you're going to meet. If you meet him in a bad way in an alley, he might take you down, twist your ankle, because he knows that MMA stuff. But let me tell you, as a friend, a father, a best friend, I could even say, he's one of the nicest guys on this planet. The fact he owns a wrestling school, local pro wrestlers should be freaking happy, you know what I mean? He provides a place where you can learn, have fun, party on holidays. He's just the best guy you could ask for. And the 209 Dragon's Den is the best school this side of Appalachia. I'm not even talking California. You're going to have a family here. You're going to grapple with the best. You're going to have the craziest storylines. And when it comes down at the end of the night, you're going to have a place to lay your head, because Matt Freeman, he'll give you your couch. He'll give you a bed. And that's the kind of guy I look for in a wrestling promoter. He is grade A, number one.
Man, we pulled up over here in the vineyards outside of Lodi, and we didn't know what to expect. Especially Rob didn't know what to expect of a wrestling school, of a fight camp like this. And we're just here to show you guys that in the heart of California Central Valley, we have so much entertainment for you guys. So many different things. We have musicians, wrestlers, comedians, and we hope to expose them all to you throughout our video series. This is just episode 3. Gully Oliver Adams.
How you doing? My name is Greg. I'm a student here, recent graduate out of the 209 Dragon's Den. So, I currently work in warehousing, and I run around all day, pick boxes all day, do the damn thing. Reason why I chose pro wrestling and the 209 Dragon's Den is the camaraderie, the brotherhood, and I see how everybody here looks out for each other. It's been a long time since I, felt like I belonged somewhere. Spent the whole life feeling like I just didn't belong anywhere, was the outcast no matter where I went, but for some reason, as soon as I got here, turns out the circus was full of freaks and geeks just like me. So, here's to many years of this. I enjoy what I do. I hope you enjoy what we have to produce out of here. So thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon.
My name is Zach, and I chose the 209, the Dragon's Den, just because of the legendary trainers and the work ethic that comes out of this barn. And I'm here because I just want to push myself to the limits and be the greatest.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a male stripper.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about it. Freeman was telling me you travel the country. I noticed you're rocking a Chippendale shirt. Yeah,
I worked for Chippendales, been all throughout Europe, was in the Vegas show. I just got done with a tour. We were in the Midwest. We hit Ohio, little Pennsylvania, Indiana, and then Illinois down through Iowa to Missouri. So. And
when you say the legendary trainers at the Dragon's Den, what do you mean?
Well, your reputation precedes itself, and as being someone who's as a prospect to wanting to be a professional wrestler, just word of mouth gets around, and it's always been nothing but good things.
So, anybody in particular referred you?
A couple of my contacts in Houston told me about this place.
So the Dragon's Den has reach all the way to Houston?
Houston, Texas, yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about the close-knit brotherhood that is the Dragon's Den, and apparently the entirety of the independent wrestling scene.
Yeah, you know, the Dragon's Den's always been good to me. I've been one of those guys who show up early and leaves late, and I felt a lot of some of the same guys with the same work ethic and the same passion and the same drive to try to push us to new levels and new heights.
Jack fucking Vicious.
Yeah, Jack fucking Vicious. My real name is Jack Ford, and I'm from Merced, California, and I love professional wrestling. It's always been my dream since I was 10 years old, and I want to be part of this deal.
So tell us why you chose to come up here and train with the 209 Dragons Den.
Well, I just like the fun and the entertainment of the fans of all. What I do for a living, well, I live on a ranch in Merced.
My name is Isaac, and my wrestling name is Matsunaga.
All right, Matsunaga, let me ask you something. What made you decide to come to the 209 Dragons Den to train your craft?
I came here because it's nearby home, and as a kid, I've always dreamed about it. I've always had like wrestling matches on my pillow, like messing around, having fun, being a kid.
So,
chasing my dreams.
Right, how old are you, brother?
I'm 19.
19 years old, already trained to be a pro wrestler. Love it. So, and what do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm with my uncle. I work at a Korean restaurant, American Mall in Stockton, California. I basically do everything. Bust out tables, wash dishes, hand out food, help out.
My name is Mike. I'm the head trainer here at the 209 Dragons Den.
You have a big reputation with a lot of the old school guys as the nicest guy in pro wrestling in the Central Valley of California. And yet you're here at this dingy, gritty school. What brought you here?
Well, to be dreadfully honest, this is my hometown of Lodi, so first off and foremost, it's my hometown.
The location worked out.
The location definitely worked out, but secondly, I think the fact that the person who owns the place, Freeman, showed me the respect to call me up. I had mentioned sometime in the past on social media, like, anybody doing something in Lodi should at least contact me. Even if you're not gonna work with me, like, this is my fucking hometown. Like, it's disrespectful to me to not at least bring me in. And for every bad thing that anybody said about Freeman, he at least had the respect to call me up and have a conversation with me, even though we weren't on like friendly talking. We were friendly, but we weren't on talking terms.
Right.
And then we became friends because of this.
What do you do for a living?
Oh, I cut hair here, right here in town at the Eucalyptus Barbershop.
So, and why wrestling?
Why am I still doing it? Because I still love seeing the work ethic, the training. I still love seeing the growth in these kids and being able to give back at the very, very tail end of my career. I wouldn't have had it any other way. We have a saying in wrestling, you know, you go out on your back. You don't want to be the guy that has such an ego that even at the end of their career when they got nothing left, they don't give back to the next generation. That's how things die.
Satino David Martinez.
And what do you do for a living?
A little bit of everything, it seems like. Right now, my day job is I do pest control. And then right now I'm out of season, but I coach high school wrestling, and that's really my passion. And then every so often I wrestle in this backyard, so and a couple other places.
All right, well, we'll start with the wrestling in this backyard. Let's talk about the 209 Dragons Den, man. What brought you here?
I knew the right people, honestly. I was a wrestling fan all my life. Like growing up, it was always just, my dad was really into it. And for me, it was like, okay, well, if he's watching that, I'm gonna watch it. Like he's the man to me. A couple of decisions were made in high school. I did the amateur wrestling in high school to build a foundation for this. Wasn't the biggest fan of school, so I didn't want to go the college route. Financially, I knew it wasn't gonna be the best thing right away. I knew about Freeman though. I knew about this place before it was the Dragon's Den. My buddy in high school, when he graduated, started training for a little bit when Vinny was still the head trainer here. And he was telling me about this guy. He's like, yeah, Big MF, he owns the ranch. His name's Matt Freeman. He owns the ranch, but the trainer right now is Vinny. Come through, da-da-da. Saw some clips of Matt Freeman. And I was like, I don't think I want to train under this guy. He was crazy coming up. That's back when he was really deep with the American Generates. And I was like, I'm not. That's not. Like, I don't know if this is the guy for me. Like,
That's the last thing, man. Give us one look right here.
tell us what the Dragon's Den means to you and why you're still doing what you're doing even after that.
What the Dragon's Den means, like to me, it's authentic. Like it's authentic. It's a shoot, and I mean that in the meanest way possible. Like you don't. I tell people I don't really care, and this might give me some trouble with certain people, but I don't care if you're. Oh, I went to Japan and I did this, and I went to Mexico and I did this. What we do here, you'll see a lot of personalities. You see a lot of gimmicks. At the end of the day, you're getting real people. Right, every gimmick and happy time you see, there's a lot of heartbreak behind that. There's a lot of grit behind that, and that's what we put here. Right, there's a reason why we can do the 4th of July parties. There's a reason why we could do a show. We're all in pain, and we know, hey, well, let's go to the bar and let's go out and drink. Right, we do this like when you see us out there. These people are really portraying what they are, in the sense of they're putting out the craziest ideas and they're being who they are, just having fun, being gritty, being mean. Like that's what I'm all about. Okay, you got too many people coming into this business. Oh well, I watch Marvel and this is like Marvel. This isn't. You can survive the Tokyo Dome. You can survive all these arenas. If you can't survive in this backyard, we ain't gonna connect. It's just that simple. This backyard is a backyard of grit. Call us a backyard wrestlers. Call us what you want. This is grit. That's what I call it. Absolute grit. This is what it is.
Bearded Men Mountain Dean meets Jumping Joe Savaldi, former Notre Dame football star at the Olympic Stadium, Los Angeles. At him, Joe. Here, come back, the fight's still on.
And this is the way the caged bird sings. Throughout our time at the Dragon's Den, we have learned stories of triumph, tragedy, and learning when to just walk away. Because every single one of us has had our loss in the ring. The Caged Bird Inc. has had the honor, privilege, and pleasure to bring to you the manual on how to exercise your demons, deal with the challenges of day-to-day life, and still put on our best performance for you, the heart of California's Central Valley. And throughout this story, one man's name circulates, one man's name continuously resonates. And for our final chapter, we bring to you this real-life story of the man himself, Matt Freeman.
We've talked to the students, we've talked to the coach, and now we sit down with the man who started it all, the Big MF, Matt Freeman. Freeman! Hey man, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, man, thank you for coming. I appreciate, you guys coming out here and doing this story on us.
Matt, tell me what makes you different than the others.
I think I've always did things my way. I've never been the guy that ever fell in line, and it's caused me a lot of problems. And maybe it put a chip on my shoulder, coming into this business. I ruffled some feathers. A lot of people thought I'd be a guy that didn't last, but clearly, I have. I just think somehow I have this spirit about me that infects people. Never say die, never quit, and rebellious. Fuck everyone. I'm gonna do it my way, and I don't do things to make people happy. I do things that I want to do. I think there's a lot of love in this room. A lot of people that really love it seems dingy and grimy and all this other shit, but it was love for this that brought us here. Love for wrestling, love for training, love for each other, me, Michael Sean, CJ Dirt, even Vinny Massaro was believe it or not, whether he wants to admit it, was a big reason all this ever even happened. I fell in love. I was 40 years old and I found myself divorced and not knowing really what to do or what was next, and maybe not very happy. And I found myself again on these fucking mats and taking these fucking bumps, and I found out I was still a man, you know. I wondered if I was anymore, you know. You go through some shit, and you have wives, and you have careers and houses, and you have money, and then you lose it all, and you wonder what you got left. And so I found that I was still a man by taking these bumps, and you know, I took my first bump at 40. You know, who the fuck does that? You know, now I'm 51, and you know, people can say whatever the fuck they want, but you take your first bump at 40 fucking years old and see what you do in this fucking business.
And you know, that's one of the amazing things. I was gonna ask you how old you were, you gave me that info. I was gonna ask you like when you started, you gave me that info, but you didn't start in wrestling. You started in MMA, you started in combat sports. Talk to me about that beginning.
That was interesting because, you know, I always wanted to do pro wrestling, but when I was younger, it just seemed impossible. Like, you had to be 300 fucking pounds. There was no internet back then. You could look up a fucking school. There was no all these places you could go and do this shit. Didn't seem like a very realistic thing, but I always, you know, I always loved fighting. I love Bruce Lee. I love Steven Seagal. I love fighting movies. I wanted to be a fighter, a rock star, a pro wrestler, something like that, you know, and or you know, one of those things. And so I found my way, you know, towards fighting because it was available. You know, Ken Shamrock had a Lion's Den in Lodi, California, and before that, though, you know, before that place, that's another place I really found my fucking self, because before that, I had no discipline, I had no respect for myself, I had no belief in myself. I was, you know, I didn't know who I was, and by going to a place like that, and back in those days, you know, a lot of times you see someone come for the first time, and they would never come again, and it's not a great business model because they're not in business no more, but I learned some things about myself through that process, and you don't even realize that shit till years later. So I did some fighting, and I always wanted to do pro wrestling. I remember fighting, and I stepped into the cage, and my first thoughts was when I was a kid, and I saw the Macho Man wrestle Jake the Snake at the Spano Center. I mean, that's the first thought that hit my mind when I stepped inside the cage to fight. It was always something that I wanted to do. I think it was these larger than life characters, you know, and then I did a podcast, you know, and through this podcast called Inside BJJ, which did very well. We were a top 10 sports podcast on iTunes back when iTunes was the model people used, you know, not so much today, but yeah, we were competing with Jim around the herd. We were competing with Chael Sonnen. You know, we hit 1 million downloads. We had Mike Tyson. We had Ken Shamrock, Horace Gracie, Hickson Gracie. Jim Ross, fucking Freddie Prinze Jr., Sean Patrick Flannery, and that's when I became the character. You know, that's where the character started, the Big MF, and it kind of evolved from there.
The man, Matt Freeman, is shown to be very caring, very invested in his students and the future of wrestling itself. Like, how do you find a way to divide that?
I think the character is a front to protect myself. You know, I am nice. I do help people out. I don't want to get taken advantage of. So I throw this other character up to trick people into. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but the character is a little bit of a front. But at the same time, you know, in life, when I had to tighten that belt up and when I was knocked down, I had to get back up. It was that character that got me back up. You know, like I through life and disappointments and losing things and suffering losses, and I kind of became that. That's how I really became the Big MF. Like, you know, are you really going to get up? Are you really going to be that big, you know, that big motherfucker now that you've lost everything? Are you still going to be that guy? And so that's kind of like how that character evolved. Like, you know, you want to tell me what I could be. I got to do this and I got to do that and I can't be this. And I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm going to be what I want to be.
You know, all of this, how does that translate into training these young men, training these young women, training these young athletes that want to get into this? Like, how does that translate to the way it relates to the Dragon's Den itself?
With all the elements of, you got Coach Hayashi, you got Michael Sean, you got CJ Dirt, we have Sean Hernandez, we have all these coaches that come in, then you have me overseeing all of it, and I step in and just check these guys every so often, like check where the heart is, check where the commitment is, and I'm the overseer, and I also help develop their characters, but at the end of the day, I ask you, why do you want to be here? And you tell me why you want to be here, and I'm going to hold you to that. I'm not going to let you tell me, If you tell me that you want to be a pro wrestler worse than anything, and then 2 weeks later I don't fucking see you, I'm gonna be calling you out. You know, I might knock on your fucking door. I might slap the shit out of you, to be honest with you, because I'm gonna hold you to what you told me. With what you told me you want, that's what I'm gonna hold you to. If you came in here and you're like, well, I just want to belong to something, cool, you can belong to something. I just want to, like, you know, come and be cool, you can be that. But if you tell me I really want to fucking do this, I'm gonna hold you to that.
You know, all this hard training we've seen with wrestling, tell us why you decided to do a boxing match against a monster like Jesus Christ.
Well, all monsters are facades. The Big MF character is a facade. There's a real person in here. So I feel like I'm gonna find the real Jesus Cruz. I know he's a tough guy. Obviously, there's a lot of young guys in the wrestling game that they don't even want to wrestle him. They're scared of him. I can name several guys right now. Maybe I won't. They've been embarrassed enough. They won't get in the ring with Jesus Cruz. And I'm just like here to prove he's just a fucking man like everybody else. Also, I needed a challenge. I needed something to say, put down the fucking bottle, stop drinking so much, start eating better, start living better, because if you don't, there's a big motherfucker that's gonna take your fucking head off. That was a big motivator, is to get me to get the fuck up and stop living in such a bad way.
You know, I can't thank you enough for, first of all, letting me and my production crew come into the Dragon's Den and film you guys at your most vulnerable moments. And even more so, I can't thank you enough for just telling me about Matt Freeman, the Big MF, and everything in between, man.
So what have we learned? We have learned trust. Trust in your brothers. Trust in the process. And most importantly, trust yourself to write your own story.